Many people have tried camping at one time or another in their lifetime. Some of us have even spent our summers at camp and have fond memories of that time. But what happens late at night at some of these beloved locations? What exactly is moving in the shadows? Beaver Creek Campground is located near the Madison River and Quake Lake. It is less than 30 minutes from West Yellowstone and Yellowstone National Park. Quake Lake was formed on August 17, 1959, when a 7.5 earthquake triggered a landslide and plugged the Madison River with millions of tons of boulders, killing 28 campers at the old campground. The remnants of the old campground are now underwater of Quake Lake. According to legends, if you venture down to the shore during a moonless night, you will see the glowing orbs where the old campground was located. Also close to Beaver Creek Campground is the Ghost Village, where there are several abandoned cabins that were destroyed during the quake and rising water. Hocking Hills Campground is a primitive riverfront campsite along the Hocking River in Ohio and is rumored to be haunted by an old man. Perhaps the most popular and haunted destination in the vicinity is of the Old Man's Cave. Throughout the years, campers have often reported hearing an eerie braying of a hound who is believed to be the trusted companion of Richard Rowe. Richard was a trapper who lived along the Ohio River in the late 18th century with his father and brother. When the War of 1812 began, Richard, now in his late 20s, moved himself to his favorite cave where he spent the rest of his life with only his dogs and rifle to keep him company. In the 1850s, Richard accidentally shot himself while trying to break through the iced-over creek. According to legends, other trappers in the area found his body and buried him beside his beloved dog in a cave where he lived. After the tragedy, the area was avoided for more than 50 years out of fear of what they named the Old Man's Cave. Then word quickly spread about the beauty of the gorge, and it became a must-go destination for picnics and day outings. James Iles, one of the area's entertainers in the early 1900s, was known to sing songs to visitors about the cave's ghost. Soon, the cave had a reputation for being haunted, and as more and more people visited the area, sightings of a ghostly old man and his hound became almost a daily occurrence. Today, the ghost duo are still reported to be seen walking along the creek's edge before stopping at a large depression in the cave floor, where they are reported to disappear. Lakeview Park and Campground is located on a wooded hilltop overlooking the scenic Rib Lake. But don't let the natural beauty and amenities fool you. It also has its own resident ghost. The campground is directly connected to the Lakeview Cemetery with several campsites less than 15 feet away from the graves. According to some locals, when loggers were in the area of the lake next to the campground and cemetery, they would use the area as a dumping ground for bodies of their dead. Another legend attached to the area is of a young boy that was killed in a car accident and buried in the cemetery. His spirit has been seen walking around the campground. Other reports from the campground include unexplainable moans coming from the cemetery and figures that appear and then quickly disappear. Bannack mining town was established in 1862 when gold was discovered at the nearby Grasshopper Creek. By 1864, it was named the Territorial Capital of Montana, But eventually that title was passed on to Virginia City when people of Bannack began leaving with hopes of finding a bigger payout in Virginia City. By the 1950s, most people had moved on, and the state of Montana turned Bannack into a state park with 2 campgrounds surrounding the town. Like many mining towns of that time, it had its share of crime, murders, and robberies. Henry Plummer, one of the town's sheriffs, along with 2 other deputies, were hanged when it was discovered that they were leading a band of road agents named the Innocents, who were robbing gold miners traveling to and from Virginia City. The sheriff had problems in the past, including murder that was said to have been self-defense, but because of this, he was convicted and hanged. People still claim to see the sheriff roaming the town. There's also said to be the spirit of a teenage girl, thought to be Dorothy Dunn. It is said that she drowned in a dredge pond along the creek. Her spirit has been seen reportedly, usually on the 2nd floor of the Hotel Mead, but it has also been seen in other areas around town. It is usually only the children who are able to really see Dorothy. Other common reports are of ghostly people dressed in their Sunday best, walking around town, and the sounds of babies crying when there are no babies to be found. Located about 14 miles outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico, in the town of Torero, is what many believe to be the most haunted campground in the state. Named after the creek that runs through the Pecos Mountains, Holy Ghost Campground is said to be haunted by a priest and several other spirits. According to legends, during the Pueblo Native Revolt in 1680, the Spanish were forced out by the natives, all except one priest, who stayed behind to try to continue his efforts to convert the natives to Christianity. Still angry at the way they were treated by the Spanish, the natives killed the priest. Some legends say that the priest was the one who killed the remaining natives. Regardless, legends claim that the priest, along with the Pueblo native spirits, can still be seen wandering the woods at night. The priest and natives are not the only spirits rumored to have died in these woods. It is said that there have been several deadly car accidents along the back roads, deadly fights between bikers, and even a missing state trooper around the campground. Campers have reported various strange occurrences, including shadow figures walking through the trees, chanting, strange lights floating through the woods, disembodied voices, and even UFOs. The campground of Cottonwood Canyon, Utah, is set among a forest of shady spruce and aspen trees. Vivid summer wildflowers are abundant, and in the autumn the leaves put on quite a show, along with the ghost, of course. The Cottonwood Canyon is home to a deadly body of water that has claimed the lives of many people throughout its lifetime. According to legends, the spirit of those who lost their lives in the river still inhabit the area. The most common reported apparition is of a young woman, dripping wet, standing along the road, but when she is approached, she disappears. There have also been reports of a lone ghostly hiker who disappears when someone comes near him. Others have reported hearing voices and screams coming from the water when no one else is around.